Thunder Report from 107.7 The Franchise.
He's here, he practiced, and if needed, he'll play in tomorrow's game against Philadelphia. He is James Caron Butler. You'll know him by Caron Butler, the newest acquisition of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Scott Brooks talked about the newest addition. Plus, we'll hear from Caron Butler in today's Thunder Report.
I thought the practice went well. It was just great to spend a few minutes before practice just getting familiar with him and a little bit of his background. But from all the information I gathered before I met him today, I mean, it matched up. So I'm excited about him. We went through a few things offensively and some of our defensive schemes. He's a veteran guy that is going to pick up things fairly quickly, so that's exciting. He's excited to be here. He's definitely will add to our team in many different ways and in different levels. His experience, his toughness adds to what we have now, but we're excited that he's here.
Because of that.
Sam talked a lot about his background, some of the personal redemption story. What did you learn from sitting with him today just about that background?
Well, the thing that I loved about him when meeting with him was that he has a serious approach to the game. He loves the game like all of our guys do. He's passion for the game. We've talked about just a style of basketball, defensive, tough-minded, pass type of mentality, and so those are the winning attitudes that we like here, and he adds to that. He understands what it takes to win in this league, and he's excited to be part of a winning organization that believes in professionalism, that believes in coming in every day and working, and he has that mentality. Just spending the 35 to 40 minutes I had with him before our practice.
How do you ask him to blend in quickly? You said he's a veteran. That makes it easier. Do you expect him to go ahead and play a role immediately?
Well, it's definitely going to take some time. I mean, it's definitely going to take some time for him to be familiar with the guys that he's going to be playing with and then learning our system. But the thing that he has that a lot of our guys that come in mid-season or even in the summer is that we have guys that open their arms up and let guys in and help them go through a transition period. It's always tough to go through it in the middle of the season, but I think with the group that we have can make it the transition a little more seamless.
Do you expect him to be available tomorrow?
Yes, he will be available tomorrow, definitely. He had a good practice today. Like I said, we did some things offensively. We're going to be able to obviously shorten up the package that we do on both ends of the floor to make him feel comfortable going in tomorrow night.
How many minutes do you think he'll get a chance to play tomorrow?
Anywhere from 1 to 48, unless it goes overtime.
You've said before a couple times when new guys have come in that maybe one of the biggest adjustments is just getting used to the terminology that you guys use here as opposed to where they were before. Is that pretty much the case with him too?
That's very accurate right there. A lot of teams run the same offensive sets, defensive schemes. You have different names, different play calls, different schemes, and we do the same. I think with what we do, he's going to be able to pick things up. It's going to take him some time. I don't know how long. I mean, he's a basketball IQ guy. So I think it's going to help him with the transition.
Well, Caron, kind of tell us what the process was and really why you wanted to come here with the Thunder.
I just thought it'd be a great opportunity for me as a veteran guy to, play alongside some of the elite talents like Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and, obviously Ibaka and Perkins, and the list goes on. It's a young core, young nucleus, and I like what they represent. Playing in the Washington area for years, I had a chance to, watch Kevin mature and become this superstar that he's become, and, I just love what he represents. I love what this whole organization represents, and I thought it'd be a good fit.
You've gone up against these guys, obviously, before and seen them from afar. Did you have any kind of personal relationship at all with any of them on the team before now?
Well, we had a couple of UConn guys, and Jeremy Lamb and Tabit, and obviously they have a great medical staff, and the head trainer and Joe Sharp. So I was familiar with all those guys, and they told me so many great things about the organization prior to this upcoming season. So it was always a place that I felt like it was exciting to play. I felt like they always had the six man loud out there, and it's just a great atmosphere for basketball. And coming from the University of Connecticut, Stores was always rocking, and that's something that I missed, and was willing to accept back with open arms.
What's the biggest thing you think you bring to the team?
Obviously, I'm a leader in my own right, and I'm a veteran guy that can talk about adversities on and off the court. So I'm definitely gonna bring a certain toughness. I'm not gonna brag about it. Just certain toughness that I walk with, just because of the edge that I have all the time. And just wherever I can fit in. Whether it's off the bench, starter, spots, whatever the case. I just want to be a part of this movement and have my fingerprints on this team's success.
Sam and Coach Brooks mentioned your ability to defend multiple positions. Is your versatility a potential asset for this team?
Yeah, I mean, we was talking about that in the breakfast meeting this morning about defending and bringing a certain edge on defense and being able to be a stretch guy to knock down shots and be consistent in that component, and having Tabo down for a couple of weeks, and obviously Perk, we're going to see a lot of different lineups and a lot of different things out there. So, I just got to be prepared for anything. And, in the nature of this beast, you have to stay prepared, and I'm definitely prepared.
Ryan, you kind of seen him with 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
With Tabo out, though, how comfortable are you with that two-guard spot? Do you think you see minutes there?
Like I said, I'll be pretty much a little bit of everywhere, from our conversation this morning. And, playing with the Bucks and, just playing in the NBA the last 2 seasons, you see positions kind of change. Guys are going small in certain areas. You see a lot of traditional threes that's playing forward. So, I'm just prepared for anything.
You've just had one practice and then shoot around tomorrow. If Scotty calls your number tomorrow night, will you feel comfortable going in?
Yeah, I'm gonna be happy to go in and do whatever I can. We're looking at the big picture, and that's getting prepared for the playoffs and making a push. So, at some point, very soon, I'm going to have to play and be inducted in a lot of the practices and stuff, and find a rhythm amongst these guys. So, what better way to do it than live action?
Karan, you said you're a veteran, so you're used to this, but what is that transition like to come in, have a meeting with Coach Brooks, go into practice? Is it easy, or is it kind of a whirlwind?
For those who are not familiar with me, my name is James Karan Butler. 11-year vet. I was traded 3 times this year. So I was in Phoenix for 3 weeks. I bought a home, packed it up, took the kids back out of school, have 5 children, 4 girls, 1 boy. Migrated back to Milwaukee after being traded from Los Angeles prior to Phoenix. And now I'm in Oklahoma.
Why do you go by Karan, not James?
It's my grandfather's name. So, yeah.
Talk to you. You got to explain it to us where that came from.
I had a fair share of injuries. One that kept me out of the finals in 2011 with Dallas, and I ruptured my patella tendon, and that's just one of the things that stuck with me. Through injuries or whatever, I always find a way to overcome.
A lot of people thought you were going to be headed to Miami when you became available. How tough a decision was it?
It was a tough decision for a lot of reasons. Just because you have so many viable contenders that's reaching out for you and asking for your services in different ways. But, Oklahoma was the place that I wanted to be, and, I decided to come, and I prayed on it, and, you can't question God.
People talk about experience, but there's also championship experience, having gone through that ride with the Mavericks. I know you were injured, but is that something that's real, having experience at championships?
Yeah, I think it's definitely real, and, sharing that experience in the locker room and, being part of that team for more than half a season, and still being in that locker room, throughout the course, and the battles, and just having your fingerprints on that whole championship run was special. So I got a lot of insight.
Karan, you've been outspoken about your upbringing, kind of your background, things you went through in life. How did all of that adversity and kind of where you are now, how did that shape you?
I think being incarcerated at a young age, being locked up for more than a year, and getting out and going through all that adversity, I think it shaped me into the man I am today. Just because nothing I've ever gotten come easy, and I'm willing to work for it, and I'm willing to start that that process tomorrow night.
That's Caron Butler, who will wear number 2 in the lineup and probably will get in tomorrow night against the Philadelphia 76ers. That's today's Thunder Report. I'm David Garrett for 107.7 The Franchise.